highly recommend. This is a must read. Hello besties, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having the best beginning of the year ever, and welcome to my last wrap up of 2024. This is my December wrap up. And I'm happy to report that during this month, I have stumbled upon one of the best series that I have read this year. I have talked to you about it in my best books of 2024. It is the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson, the trilogy, the first trilogy. I fell in love with it. The world building is amazing, and it expands slowly and steadily as you progress in the series. It is a version of our world, but a sad version, I'm going to say, where only one person rules. He is called the Lord Ruler. He is unbeatable. He's known to being an immortal, and he has very powerful magical abilities. And he's merciless and unfair, and we are trying to take him down. We are following Kelsier. He is a Mistborn. I will explain what a Mistborn is a little bit later, but he's getting together this army of people and Mistborn and like people with magical abilities to try to take the Lord Ruler down. And each person in this group of friends is very different, very distinct, and the friendship that they had together is just unmatched. The magic system is called allomancy. It is very unique and so fascinating. It is based on metals and their alloys. So allomancers, people who can use allomancy, they are called allomancers. They can ingest metals, small beads of metals, and they can burn them. They call it burning, and use their power to enhance a sense they have, like seeing or hearing, or they could enhance their strength, their speed, or also they can manipulate other people's feelings, or like they can make them intensify, decrease and increase certain feelings. And a general rule is that allomancers can only use one metal and its alloy, but Mistborn, like Kelsier and Vin, they can use all the metals. And they are very rare. Mistborn are very rare, and they are extremely powerful. I loved how complex the magic system is, but it was very well explained, so don't worry about that. And I loved how it was difficult to learn to control your powers and learn how to use them. It was difficult. So it took Vin quite a while to understand how to use them. And we were there every step of the way, and we were learning alongside her how these metals work. And I liked how we get explanations in all three books, the second and the third book too. Every time there is a metal being used, we get reminded of what is the role of the metal. And I appreciated that so much, because we have quite an expensive world. So yeah, I appreciate when we get reminded a lot of times about certain things. And one thing that I enjoyed a lot was the battle scenes. They were very well explained and very dynamic from different point of views, that you feel like you are in the middle of the battle scene. I love them so much. Vin and Kelsier are the fire duo. I love them. I love their scenes, their interactions. They really had a big impact on my reading experience and on my feelings. I also love that the tension was kept really high all the time. You feel like no one is safe. So you're like on the edge of your seat and always on my guard when I'm reading the books. I know that no one is safe. And when you think that everything is going well and like we can breathe, something new happens and we have new challenges to face. The thing is, it never felt easy for the characters. It never felt convenient. So you are being kept on the edge of your seat the whole time reading these books. And I have to mention the Steel Inquisitors. Oh my God. When they first got introduced, I got the creeps. I got the creeps because they are so scary. They are described as these long humans. Well, if you can say they are humans, they are like very tall, like a huge build, and they are very powerful allomancers. And also they have these big spikes that go through their eyes and go through the back of their heads. Very scary. They are really, really creepy. So they don't have eyes. They have these metal spikes and they can sense their way through the world with allomancy, basically. And they are the top servants of the Lord Ruler. And to be honest, I didn't see that ending coming for book one. Totally crushed me. I teared up multiple times. It hurt me very, very much. But at the same time, I felt pride at what happened next. I sat there in shock after finishing book one. I was like marinating in my feelings, digesting everything that I have read, and like sitting there in awe, basically, because it was such a fascinating, unique experience. I loved this book so, so much. The first book that introduced me to this world, and it will hold a special place in my heart. The whole series was absolutely fantastic. All I can say is I look forward to reading more books from Brandon Sanderson, 100%. And if you haven't read Mistborn yet, this is your sign. Pick up the first book, The Final Empire. I know the name, The Final Empire. I was like, are we sure this is not book 3? Because the name is final. But it is the first book because it introduces us to this empire that is called the Final Empire, the empire of the Lord Ruler. So yeah, highly, highly recommend. This is a must read. And the next book that I had to read, this was a must read priority for me in December. Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. I needed to read this book during holiday season because it is the spirit. This is the spirit. The holiday spirit isn't here. This is a novella set in the Caraval world. And to answer your question, if you are wondering, I don't know, but if you are wondering, Jax and Evangeline do not appear in this novella. Here we have, it is focused on the holiday season in Valenda. And we get, of course, Scarlet and Julian and Donatella and Legend. And I think it focuses more on Donatella and Legend's story. And we follow Donatella as she's trying to find the perfect gift for Legend. And at the same time, she finds herself questioning whether he loves her the way she thinks he does or not. I was instantly swept away by the beautiful descriptions and the holiday preparations. Stephanie Garber always delivers the most magical, dreamy, fairy tale-esque settings. I swear her writing is infused with magic. Every single detail. The shops, the streets, the castle, the decorations inside the castle, the outfits. Every single detail is so magical, so beautiful and whimsical. And the illustrations in the book made it even more immersive and more beautiful. A beautiful book with a beautiful story, meeting old characters and like being back into this world again was such a nostalgic experience. I loved every single bit of it. I loved being here, seeing them, and like, I don't know, I felt like I was meeting old friends. I really, really enjoyed my time with this book. The next book that I read was The Boyfriend by Freida McFadden. I wanted to read this book since I have talked to you about it in my October releases. The synopsis really had me. I really wanted to know what is happening in this book. We are following Sydney. Sydney is, I think, 34 to 35 years old. She lives in New York and she's trying to navigate online dating. And she ends up meeting someone who seems to be the perfect guy. He's a doctor, he's very charismatic, he's handsome. He has the whole package and she's swept away by his charisma. And as she started dating him and getting to know him, there are a lot of murders being announced on the news about women who dated a certain person and ended up dead. So we start questioning what is going on with this guy. And Freida McFadden had me again. She deceived me again. especially with this book. I really thought that I had it figured out since we had two timelines, one in the past, one in the present following Sydney. The one timeline that takes place in the past is following Tom. He's the charming guy that we are talking about, and we are following him as a teenager. And the present timeline, we are following Sydney's perspective. And I had it all wrong, basically. I really loved the structure of the book. It cranks up the tension little by little. I enjoyed it so, so much, and I really, really recommend it if you want to have a fast-paced thriller that will keep you on your toes. Yes, highly recommend The Boyfriend. The next book that I read was Five Broken Blades by Mai Corland. I needed to read this book. I have told you about it. I need to read it because the second book, For Ruined Realms, is going to release on January the 7th. And I wanted to know if I want to get the first print run special edition or not. So I had to pick it up as soon as possible. And I am so happy that I did. The answer to my question is yes. 100% yes. Absolutely. This was so good. I am so happy I picked it up, to be honest. I felt like this cast of characters snuck up on me, and I was cheering everyone. Everyone. I fell in love with every single character in this book. Even though each one of them had secrets and they were telling each other half-truths and some lies, each one of them has a special set of skills, and they learn to care for each other along the way, protect each other, and even maybe love. The plot is mainly about these six people. We have a hired hitman. His name is Royo. We have a very talented thief. Her name is Eri. We have a devastatingly beautiful assassin. Her name is Sora. And along with Sora, we have Tai. He is the heir to the lord that owns Sora's indenture. And we have Mikhail, who is the head of spies. And we have the banished prince. His name is Yoon. All came together under very questionable circumstances to carry out a mission. It is to kill the god king of Yusan. He's thought to be a god because a lot of people tried to kill him, but no one succeeded in many years, and no one dares anymore, and he's known to be merciless. The book was told from the 6 POVs from the characters that I have just mentioned, and it was very well structured, in my opinion. The tension was kept high, and it was hard to put down because the plot keeps moving. And with each character that we follow, we always have new challenges to face. The travel adventure was fantastic. The stakes are high. I felt like we were always scheming and planning, and the fighting scenes were awesome. And I loved all the POVs in this book. I think this is the first time that happens. I didn't get bored or like I preferred one POV over the other. All of the characters are interesting to follow, and they all have something going on always. They are such badasses. I loved how their relationships grew and developed. I am very impressed by this book, and that ending, I was like, what? What? Yes. I really was blown away by that ending. I'm very happy I decided to pick this up. Definitely going to get book 2 and read it as soon as it releases because that ending was crazy. This is one of the best adult fantasies I read last year. I didn't mention it in my best books. I should have mentioned this. This was so good. It is, as I heard people say, Six of Crows, but for adults. Yes, it applies. You have that same feeling of like, we belong together, even though we came from different backgrounds and we are very different people. But like, they understand each other. They understand what it means to be hated, what it means to be thrown away and discarded, and what it means to be rejected. I loved it so much. Highly recommend. If you plan to read this, if you are thinking about maybe buying the second book, highly recommend. Read this as soon as possible. You will love it. 100% sure you will fall in love with these characters. And that was it for me today, book besties. If you made it this far, leave me the sword emoji and let me know what books are on your TBR for the next month. Please watch this video and subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love to have you, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.